Okay, this is going to be the fun part of the lessons because here is where we go over the code, make sure everything's working, and apply some final tweaks to the code. So first of all, let's go and open up our application and try it out, see how it's functioning, and take a quick look over to make sure that there aren't any issues. So there are a number of things that we still need to do, and one of them is that we need to add in some type of class or some type of way to distinguish that these divs are buttons. So we can do that within styling. We could add classes as well, but to keep things simple, what we'll do is we'll grab the element by ID. And over here, we're gonna, so all of the divs that are underneath, so any div that we have in there. So we got to be careful not to add any additional divs. So do border, solid. We'll do a black border, add some padding around it to make it look a little bit more like a button. And also some margins around it as well. So they're not right next to each other. So let's see what this looks like now. We should also do display. And we'll try inline block, see how that works. So there we go. So now we have something that actually looks a little bit more like buttons. And of course, I'm sure you could style this way better than what I'm doing. But we're looking at functionality more than anything right now. So we've got our buttons and we've got the ability to click these. And so ideally what should actually happen here is that we should get it either right or wrong and then move on to the next question, maybe update the score. So let's try that out. So we know that we've got the answer either true or false. So let's do a check to see if which one is true and which one is false. So we've got this value that's coming in. And let me place this within a variable so that we can work with it a little bit easier. We don't need it within the console at the moment. So res, and if it's equal to true, then we know we've got a correct answer and we do something here. Otherwise, we know that the answer is incorrect and then we do something else. So what we can do is we could do answers. And or answer is wrong, it should be. And that one is going to increment otherwise. So if we get it wrong, then our score will change. So that's the last thing that we need to do. We need to update our score. So we can simply grab that score. We can do get element by ID. Document, get element by ID, and that's score. And we can do inner HTML. And that inner HTML, so we can do correct, and then we'll add in that value for correct, and we'll also do wrong. And again, I'm sure you could make it look a whole lot nicer than what I'm doing. So we're just looking at functionality at this point. And don't want to spend too much time on the styling. So let's try this out. So every time we get it wrong, you see the wrong is increasing. Every time we get it right, the correct is increasing. So what we need to do is we need to maybe get rid of these selections and output whether it's right or wrong within there. So we can't actually even select anything else. We could also look through these elements and see which one has an attribute of true, and we could return that as the correct value if we wanted to. Or we could hold the correct value within the div as well within an attribute. So let's do the latter part. So next, let's add in a little bit more functionality into this. And also we can really easily just apply some styling. So the category doesn't have to be big within the styling. So font size, and this one we'll make fairly small. And for the question, I want to make that pretty big. So it's Q. And so font size for this one is going to be 1.5 EM. So make it pretty big. So they're going to be different there. So we've got our question. And we probably don't even need this question thing here. We can get rid of that. So we can clear that out. So we've got our score, and by default, we should have a score value that matches with what we're outputting here. Wrong, 0. And really, truly, there's a lot of ways to style this way better. So we are ready to move on to the next step. So go ahead and add these updates into your code. And next, you can also take some more time, style it, make it look a little bit better. And next, we're going to tweak it so that whenever the user selects an answer, that we provide what the correct answer was. So that's coming up next.